Passion, drive, persistence, resilience, love. All qualities that shape and define us. Join the Cyber Warrior as he helps shape your path. This is Walk With Me. Welcome back to Walk With Me, a cyberwarriorstudios production. I'm your host on this journey, the Cyber Warrior. Now, today, we're going to talk about two things that I've talked about recently, and if you haven't been keeping up with my videos, well, that's okay, because we're going to hit it now. And that's seize in the moment and discipline. And there's a reason I want to talk about these two things. Namely, because you need to be able to do both. Hear me out. In past episodes of Walk With Me, in episodes of Security Happy Hour, Motivation Monday, and all these other things that I do, I've talked about how motivation can help you and how getting out of your head and taking action and things of that nature. But here's the thing, right? So first, let's talk about seizing the moment. When you're motivated to do something in your career, in your life, whatever the case may be, when you have that motivation, things tend to fall into place, right? If you are going after everything you want, if you see an opportunity and you seize the moment and go for it, then things tend to work in your favor. You see, I don't necessarily believe in luck. I believe we make our own luck by seizing the moment, by seizing the opportunity, and by making the best out of every situation. Because not every situation is perfect. Let's be honest. There are things that are going to happen to us that are going to knock us down a peg or make us feel like we can't go no further. But then you're going to have these opportunities that arise that allow you to get over that hump, that allow you to overcome whatever obstacle it is. And sometimes it's just seeing that other door that opened up or that window that opened that you might have to climb through. So it's not necessarily easy. You're going to have to climb. Or maybe it's a path that you're walking. All right, this show is called Walk With Me, right? So picture this. You're in a path. You have two options. And as you're walking your path, you can either go over this very scary bridge, but you're guaranteed to get to the other side. And the reward on that other side is a continued journey towards what you're looking for. Or you take a different path and you start going up thinking you're going to get around the river. You're not going to have to worry about it. You know what? I don't want to get wet. I don't have to worry about falling. I'm just going to go around. What happens if you don't find a way around? What happens when that ends up just bringing you back right around at the beginning, or you never make it back to that bridge because you were afraid? You didn't seize that opportunity in front of you. Yeah, it was scary. Yeah, there's a chance you could have failed. But at the end of the day, getting you across gets you closer to your goal. So you have to be able to see these opportunities and take them. Sometimes they're going to suck. Sometimes it's going to be hard. Sometimes the risk doesn't always look like it's worth it. But if it's part of a goal you're going towards, if it's something you're really trying to accomplish, then those risks are worth it. So in my journey, right, I took quite a few risks in the beginning. I spent a lot of money on merchandise, on additions to the show and special effects and all these different things that I was doing. And I did it because I wanted to set me apart. I didn't want to be your standard channel that just did, normal every day. I'm going to show up and be here. That risk may or may not have paid off. I still haven't really figured it out yet, but it got to a point I couldn't afford it anymore. So I had to tone back what I was doing. And I'm still reevaluating where my money's going. But it was a risk at the time I felt was worth taking. So I don't know if that one's paying off yet, but I think, to me, it quite very well could have been taking the wrong path, because I spent a lot of money and took a huge risk taking that other path. But I'm no closer, right, to my goal, to what I want to do. So maybe, just maybe, it's not always money that you need. It's willpower, it's discipline, dedication, motivation, and inspiration. It's coming up with ideas and being innovative and doing things differently to get your voice heard, to get your message across. So it's not always about money. So I'm learning that, right? It's part of my learning process. Now, where does discipline come into this though? Well, because you could be motivated for a lot of things. You can have the motivation to get started and head towards your goals and, take some of these risks. But then what happens one day when you're looking at something and you're like, man, I've got about 1,000 miles to go. I don't know if I want to make this journey. It's going to have a few pit stops along the way. I don't know if I want to do it. I mean, I know I've already gone like 500 to 1,000 miles already. I might be halfway there. But do I want to continue? Because you just woke up and it was just a bad day. That's where discipline comes into play. Because here's the thing, you're not always going to be motivated. You're not always going to find that next day is better. Sometimes you're worse off. But that's fine. Because whether it's in your career or working out or eating healthy or quitting smoking or whatever you're trying to do, that discipline to keep at it, to keep your head strong and going for it, even when you're not motivated, you'll start to see outcomes, which then will reinvigorate you and give you that motivation again. Now, it's not guaranteed because sometimes you're depressed and you have to go other methods. But if you are dedicated to it and you have that discipline to continue doing something over and over, even when your motivation has failed you, then when you're no longer depressed, when you're no longer angry, when you're no longer upset, when you start seeing all this progress, that motivation does come back. That invigorating feeling of accomplishment comes back. So that's where that discipline comes in. Because you can, how do I put this? You can be motivated twice a week, then you got 3 days where you're not. But if you keep at it, you'll start seeing all the payoff. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't take into account. I know it kind of contradicts some of the stuff I've talked about, right? Motivation and going at it and going for it. But the reality is, I could have, when I got sick, stopped making videos because I had to take a day off. What's the point of going back at it? But because I was disciplined and knew this is what I wanted to do, I keep going. And it's getting better. I'm seeing the results of that. But when you lose that discipline, or if you don't have the discipline to keep going, then one bad day turns into 2, turns into 5, turns into 10. And it just continues. It makes it harder to break out of that downward spiral. Because a lot of times those bad days will come consecutively. And if you're not seeing any progress, then that downward spiral is very, very hard to get out of. So you have to see progress. And that'll help a lot, okay? That discipline there will take you far. It really will. Now, I don't know where life is going to take us. We only have one life to live. Or, depending on who you talk to, you die once and you live every day. You can look at it several different ways. But the way I look at it is every day is a new day. Every day is a day for me to make a difference, for me to make things happen, for my message to get across. For that person that was just having a bad day, guess what? They heard something and it clicked. And I look forward to those days. I look forward to those messages of thanks for your, the messages you put out or the motivation or whatever. I look forward to those. So when I don't do something, if I don't put out a Motivation Monday video or at this point, if I don't put out a video at least once a day, I do start feeling negative, right? Get in my head of things that are going to fall apart. So that's why that discipline of doing it every day, creating a short reel every single day, putting out posts on social media every single day. It is not for me necessarily. Again, no one's all completely altruistic, so it is a little bit for me. But mostly it's because I feel like I have a message to share, and those that get something from it, I've helped somebody. I've been able to give back to those who need it. So that's the way I look at it. So no matter what your goal is in life, get that discipline to keep going, even when your motivation isn't there. Get up and do it anyways. It's going to suck, but you can do it. Heck, I remember doing Insanity the workout for 60 days straight. And I guarantee you, there were days there I did not want to do it. But I got up and did it anyways. And I felt better because of it. When I work out in the morning, I feel better because of it. May not want to, but I do feel better after I'm all done. So take that for what it's worth. Now, anyways, this is the end of the episode. It's a short one today, but I love you all. So my little bit of wisdom today is just that. Seize the moment. Seize every opportunity. I don't care if it's a window, if it's a door, if you got to break down a wall, whatever. Maybe you've got some TNT somewhere and you got to break down a wall to get through something. Go for it. Seize the opportunity. And while you're at it, start developing that discipline every single day to do something that's going to get you closer to your goals. Whether it's studying, working out, putting out content, whatever the case may be. Start doing things daily. Make it repetitive. Because then it becomes a habit, and then you just do it. And you don't have to think about it. It just happens. Now, otherwise, this has been an amazing episode of Walk With Me. Once again, I am your host, the Cyber Warrior. You can find all of the ways you can support this show down below. Please, I beg of you, actually it might be on the side. If you're listening to this on podcast, depending on the app, yeah, it's somewhere. They have show notes and descriptions, it's there. But either way, you can find all the ways you can support us. Please rate this on your favorite podcast app. If you're on YouTube, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Follow me on all my podcasts and social media. And I will see you all next time.